What's up everyone, Player Husky here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I will be sharing my thoughts and testing on the new SS items we received in the last update. I know it took me 3 days almost to do some tests to make it more reliable, and I wanted to be sure that it will be really honest test. Are they worth it to focus on? How will they impact current gameplay and meta? Have they strengthened or weakened Nesir Scepter users? So first, we're introducing the SS version of the Judgment Ring. Initially it looked great until I noticed that the new Judgment Ring doesn't have extra bolts, which is completely absurd and somewhat destroys the ring's meaning. Honestly, I was more concreted that since the standard Judgment Rings meant 2 bolts every 2 turns, like you can see here. So yeah, we had 2 bolts every 3 rounds. Of course, with cooldown it gave you 2 of them, and now there is no extra ball. So the new SS ring would summon 3 or 4, especially since only 1 ring of a given type can be worn. This move is definitely a downgrade for Nesir user. However, it will be still useful for other classes using skill damage, where lightning bolts aren't the primary source of damage. So yes, after my test, the damage from the SS Judgment Ring was much lower than from 2 S Judgment Rings, and even lower than from just 1 Judgment Ring. So I hope, but first I will just show you the test in the meantime. So I hope we will see a patch to correct this and get the extra bolts back. Otherwise, many players will lose the resources they invested in building this item, and therefore some of the joy of the game. So I really don't understand the move that devs did here. It doesn't have any sense, to be honest. But despite of all, we are not completely lost, because as you can see here, and the SS Judgment Ring is pretty bad for us. Maybe not pretty bad, but for example, I had 2 double S rings that were A5, and after that I made my SS Judgment to A4, but damage was really way worse than I expected. But still, there is a hope. There is really small hope, because when you will use S Judgment Ring and you will pair it with however, if you use the S Judgment Ring, which still has 2 bolts charged every 2 turns, plus the new SS Shadow, the boss results will be very comparable to those offering 2 S Judgment, or slightly higher, as was the case during my testing. I would like to remind that my Shadow isn't awakened and doesn't have any related upgrades like my S Judgment Ring has, which is on A5. So if you're wondering which ring to choose, it's definitely the Shadow Ring, especially if you want to use it as a Nasir Scepter user. Right, so now we are going to see the final result, and the total damage was 167 trillion, which was slightly better than the previous result we saw. Despite all this, Ursol, or the Shadow Ring, seems to be the king of today's episode. Damage increased by 50% to frozen targets every 2 turns, 50% chance to freeze, and it also has weakened status and poison, a powerful ring for PvP and PvE. And combined with Judgment for Sky Splitter users, I believe this seems like a deadly combination. The sheer number of freezes is overwhelming. Definitely. Shadow Ring along with Ice Bubble Elsa or Icewind Fox will keep the opponent frozen forever, like eternal freeze. There is no way to escape, almost. So, my personal opinion, as you heard, is that we got downgrade boys on the Nasir Scepter, so I hope they will change it and we will use again this Judgment version, or this SS Judgment version of S-Ring. And now a little Easter egg: if you go to Specialization, General, and move on here, you can check and see that the new mount will be available soon. Blessing Flyer, maybe little alien spaceship. So soon we will get another mount, like a bonus to this movie. I hope you like it, and it will help you to choose your best SS ring after this video. And see you next time. Bye!